So now, also, thank you so much for your service. Which one of you is affiliated with our military?
That one. He's joking. He lost all his hair from all the stress of work.
So what part of the military are you affiliated with?
So I'm in the Air Force.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your service. How far has this taken you? Obviously, you're in the UK right now. What part are you?
So we're really close to Cambridge.
Yeah, like 20 minutes from Cambridge, about 2 hours from London.
This is our what, 4th place?
Yeah, 4th assignment together, being married, 3rd overseas assignment. So
fun! What adventures I'm sure you guys have had. So where else have you been stationed?
So Aviano. So we first started out at Eglin, Florida.
Yep.
And then I went to Korea. Then we went to Italy.
Ooh.
And then Italy to here. And we spent the last 5 years here, which has been really nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any kids?
We just had our first kid this last year. She's almost 1 now.
Congratulations.
So,
congratulations.
Yeah, we just put her to bed. So that's why this timing works out great.
Okay, perfect. Oh, how cute. I can't wait to meet her and see some pictures. So Paul's connecting right now.
Oh, okay.
Baby girl. What is your baby girl's name?
Her name is Coraline, spelled with a K.
Coraline and Karina. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of K's in this family. I got
Kiara
the dog, Kuro the cat.
Karina and Coraline.
See, you're a girl dad.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Paul, we were just going over, he is in the Air Force. They were telling me about their baby girl who's a year old. And they told me that they've been stationed in a couple different areas, Korea and now the UK. So they've been on adventures for sure. How fun.
Awesome.
How do I do?
What's the weather like over there right now? Is it?
Yeah, how do I get it to where like all 3 of them? Sorry.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sorry. Rainy.
Rainy, yeah.
No, it hasn't been too bad. It's been getting warmer, which has been really nice.
We're I think the coldest Vegas start to the year since 1973 this year.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. I like it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like
we've had so much rain. So much rain.
Today was actually nice. It was sunny but windy and still kind of cold. But at least it was sunny. We'll take it.
Yeah, well, we love the sun over here. You'll get plenty of it in the summer. So
yeah.
Have you guys ever been to Vegas, or will this be your first time?
So I've been TDY there, so I've done a bunch of work out there for weeks and weeks and weeks, but we've never lived out there. And then I know
I've been 2 to 3 times. Vacation. Yeah, just with I think once with my dad and twice for wedding events, like bachelor parties and bachelorette parties and stuff like that. So usually don't spend so far from the strip.
Yeah, I was gonna say, have you been off the strip?
No, not me. I don't know about him, but not me.
Okay, so have you guys been to the area that you're looking at, which is like the Centennial area?
Not necessarily. We have friends who were here in the UK who live in that area, and then my cousin lived in Vegas for 4 to 5 years, and so that was one of the areas she recommended because she knows I like to be close to mountains and or outdoor adventure stuff. So she said that was kind of a good area to be looking at.
It really is. So we have a mountain called Mount Charleston that is literally from Centennial. It's about 35 minutes, 40 max. And all summer long, when it's like 100 to 110 down here, it stays like 75 to 80 there. And it's only a 30 to 5 minute drive from where you're looking. So that's going to be awesome. And then in the winter, you can go skiing, snowboarding, have all of those winter activities. So it's really a great area. Another thing I love about this area is it's a lot of families. So in all of the community parks and everything, you're just going to be seeing kids everywhere. where it's super family oriented. So it's awesome. And then it is semi close to the Air Force Base. So, I mean, you picked a great area. It's got it all really.
Yeah, it seemed nice because you could just hop straight on the highway to like get to Nellis. Like it's not too bad of a commute, most likely for him.
Yeah, it really is. I have a lot. Paul and I work on a ton of VA loans together, and they generally pick this area. So
Yeah.
I
I think we have three friends who all live in Centennial Hills, all military, all used to be here in the UK. So
okay, awesome. So you have had this area highly recommended. So
Yes.
this will be your first home purchase though?
yes, first one ever.
Congratulations. I'm a first-time home buyer specialist, so I know a lot of clients will come to me and be like, oh, I hate to keep bugging you. I want to hear from you as many questions as you have. So any questions that you guys have, just hop on the text message, shoot them over to me right away, and I'll get them answered for you. So tell me a little bit, what scares you guys the most about purchasing a property?
I think for me, I'm scared of like going too high above our a budget. Like Pat is like, oh yeah, we could get a $400,000 house. That's fine. And in my mind, I'm like, what if it takes me too long to get a job? And then we're, paying more than we're expecting to. And so I'm kind of playing it a little more safe than he is. And he's just like, yeah, whatever. It's fine. We'll figure it out.
So when it comes down to it though, if a home is slightly outside of your budget, but it is everything that you want, is that something that you are even slightly flexible on, or do you really want to stick to this 2-3-3-1 number?
I mean, I feel like we're flexible on it at this moment. He's smiling.
I'm fine.
He's like, yeah, we'll
But
go
no,
for it.
it's smart that we play it cautiously.
Yeah, because
Okay.
we're also gonna like be buying a car when we get to the US too. So that's like another thing. I'm like, okay, it's not just we're gonna have a mortgage for the first time. We're also gonna have a car payment because we haven't had a car payment in 6 years probably.
Well, do you guys use public transportation over there? Is it?
No, so we have UK cars. They are just not.
So we have his car from the States, which we paid off in 2016, I believe it was, and we've been able to bring it with us to both locations. And then we've just bought like a little beater car to get us by for the while in Italy and here. So we just pay for those up front, usually $2,000-$4,000 max, and then they just get us through, and then we sell them when we leave.
Okay.
So we haven't had a actual payment, like a payment of any sort for a long time. Yeah.
Well,
So
I have personally been in Vegas for 13 years. I have a really awesome car guy that owns his own shop that focuses more on the loans and working the loans, and then he'll find whatever car you want. So if you want me to refer you to him, I can connect you with him. We'll get you a great deal on a car, but don't buy it until you have a garage to put it in.
Yeah.
Number one, right? Got to get the garage first.
Yeah, the house is the first priority. Like we want to start doing that first before the car, but I think it's a little bit difficult. I think like being overseas too, because like we are willing to, he's finally caved. We are willing to put an offer into a house, not necessarily having seen it, just so we can at least get the ball rolling. When at first he wasn't okay with that. He was like, absolutely not. We're not putting an offer in until we land. So now he's kind of to realize that it's probably going to take a little longer than just like, put an offer in and we move in a week, So now it's more like, okay, we're going to sit down and actually be like, okay, what could we put an offer in for?
Well, I can tell you that the last, 3 or 4 deals that Paul and I closed this past month, he has closed on them or been able to close on them within like 12 to 15 days. So you definitely got connected with the right person. Okay.
That's good.
Most contracts take 30 days. Paul is a absolute rock star, and he and I work really well together. So
that's good, because like our timeline is a little bit hectic when we arrive, because we get into Las Vegas the 26th of April, and then we're going home to Colorado the 5th through the 13th of May, because our daughter's birthday is the 10th. So we're gonna go home and like see all our family. So we're hoping by the time we get back, like the 13th, 14th, we're like basically getting the keys and moving in. which
Okay.
is very quick.
We can definitely make that happen for you. So I do work with a ton of relocations. And the way that I do it is if you do see a property that pops up on the MLS and you're like, oh my God, I really am interested in this one. Pictures can be pretty deceiving, and I get your apprehension there. I can go to the property and make a video walkthrough for you so that you can actually get a feel for what the rooms look like, how big it is and stuff like that, so that you're not deceived by the photos. So if that is a route that you guys want to go, you see an irresistible property and you want it no matter what, like I will go make videos for you on all of the properties that you want to be walked through. So that's not an issue. We can make the due diligence a little bit longer, so you guys do have time to come in and actually take a look at that property. Due diligence period is usually 10 days in my contracts. I can make them longer if you wish. And you can wake up and sneeze the wrong way and decide that you don't want that property anymore. So that is what I do for my clients. And I'll make sure to do the same for you, especially in your situation. So we're good there. Where will you be staying when you come in?
So we got an Airbnb kind of just, I think it's in Summerlin is the Airbnb that we got for the first like 10 days.
Okay.
Because my husband's technically on leave, so we can't technically stay at TLF because he's not like checking into the base yet.
Okay.
So we just figured we would get somewhere closer to like the houses we're looking for.
But then when we get back from Colorado, I'm allowed to stay on
Then
base.
then
for a
he'll
while.
have TLF allowance. So like even if we can't move in when we get back from Colorado, we'll still have like the TLF we're allowed to use at that point.
Okay. Were you guys born and raised in Colorado, or were you, Karina?
Pretty much. I moved there when I was 3 and you were 5. And then me and him both spent our entire lives there. And then we met when we were teenagers. So.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
cute. I like that.
So.
That's fun.
Yeah, we went to rival high schools, funnily enough. So.
Awesome. High school sweethearts. All
Yeah.
right. So the first thing that we really want to hone in on is going to be what your max budget is. As Karina, you and I were texting back and forth about the amount of homes available at the price points that you guys were looking at.
Yeah.
There's really minimal homes available. If you do bump up to that 400 price range, with that being your absolute max, you get a ton more options. So I believe I sent you the email up to 360, and that produces 12 matches now. There were 13 the other day. And now if you go up to 400, you're looking at 59 matches. So that's going to be the difference in being able to see the difference in quality and stuff on that type of home. So I did have Paul run some numbers. With your budget, your max budget, you said you really want to stay around or under is 2,331. So Paul, can you give us a little idea of what that 2,300?
Yeah. And there's something I want to throw in there too. So if we start at just like, okay, here's where the rate's at. There's the current interest rate, and then there's, a couple of things. There's a regular buy down where you're just paying some points that the seller can pay to get a little bit better rate. And there's another thing called the 2-1 buy down, which I don't think I touched on last time.
We might not have, I don't remember.
Yeah, let me explain. Like, let's start. So like, if we just look at, hey, how do we stay at a total payment of 2,331? At the current rate without any buy downs, that's at a price of about 315,000. If we just get, based on today's rates are pretty good right now relative to the last couple months too. But if we were to get a point just to buy it down, we could go up to about 340 and stay under that payment. If we do this 2-1 buy down, that gets you up to about 380 for about that same payment for the first 12 months. But then how that 2-1 buy down works is it's going to have a lower payment the first year, and then it's going to bump up the second year. So you've got, well, actually the third year, I'm sorry, you get 2 points lower the first year on your rate, 1 point lower the second year, and then it goes up the third year. So kind of the way that, that looks, that could get, if you guys are in that situation where like, hey, 2,331's our point right now, but maybe in 12 months, that could be a couple, 200-300 higher. That might be a good way to go, because then you could get, I mean, heck, you could get into, let's say we got a little bit of money to buy the rate down, and then the 2-1 buy down. That would, at 400,000, that would make your rate the first year about 2290 a month.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you
Which
could,
I mean, yeah, like I'm planning on getting a job when we get to Vegas. It's just
Yeah.
finding the job to start.
Yeah.
So question with that, if we wanted to, like, so with the VA, you said that after a year you can refinance,
Yep.
that seal
Affect
us into not being able to do that?
No,
Like,
no,
are
not
we-
at all. That's a great question too. So how this 2-1 buy down works is, let's say you're buying a home for 400,000. The seller has got to pay it, and that's costing them 2 points of the loan amount. So with VA, if you're doing 0 down, it's essentially $8,000 that gets put into an account. That's a little side account. And let's say it subsidizes your payment. So let's say you go make 12 payments, and there's that 8,000 dwindles down to like 3,800, and you decide to refi. That 3,800 goes towards your closing costs on your refi, or towards paying down. So you never lose it. And so that's a really good strategy if you're just moving into town, and then you might pick up another job, and so it gets you in to the home you want. 400 range at the payment you want for 12 months. And then after the 12 months, let's say you didn't refi, it would go up to about 25-40 a month. So not the end of the world.
Yeah, that's not bad,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
And no one's got a crystal ball, but a lot of the people we listen to, they're pretty confident we're going to see rates up like a point lower than they are now in the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah.
But that's just, it's just they went up so far so fast, and the Fed's potentially cutting rates by the end of the year now. So
okay, I think unless you have any other thing, I think that's a good idea if we do the 2-to-1 buyback with the 400,000, and then we can look at the houses that are 400,000, and then we can come up with what we like, and then have Lauren go around, look at it, and we have a friend too that's right in town that could always just drive by and.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we've reached out to
Great
our really good friend who's in, because I said we have 3 friends in Centennial Hill, but one of them is like one of our really, really, really good friends. Like, we're really close with her. And so she's already been like, I'll go look at the houses, like I'll go scout out the neighborhood. Like, so she was like, if you want me to go look at something, just let me know. And I was like, okay, if we find something, we'll reach out and see. But she's more than willing to meet with us, meet with you as well to kind of.
That's perfect. That's totally perfect. So Paul has mentioned a few things that I want to touch on. He did say that the seller can buy down for you, which is completely possible. But in the event, the buy down and the paying the points up front is the buyer's responsibility, but it is a possibility that the seller can pay it. So there are a few instances where if the home has been on the market longer, then I would like to ask the seller for seller concessions, and that would go towards buying down your rate, and anything more that we get will go towards your closing costs. Now, say it's a home that's only been on the market for a weekend. That seller is way less likely to acquiesce to giving you money. It is money out of their pocket. Another trick that I have up my sleeve, let's say there's a home that's listed for 340 and you want the seller to pay those points no matter what, we can offer the seller 348 with $8,000 in closing costs. That will net the seller the same. So it's basically like the seller taking money out of their net pockets and just handing it to you. And so when you're asking them for money, you kind of have to give something in return. It's just part of the negotiations. I will always do my best to write the first offer heavily in favor of you, just to see where we can land. But in the event of multiple offers, which is happening all over out here, I just had a buyer win a bid 4 days ago against 24 other offers.
Wow.
Jesus.
That was crazy. So it's happening out here, but they didn't want to go with anybody who had asked for closing costs or anything. So in those multiple offer situations, it is going to be a little bit less likely that we'll be able to get those closing costs for you. So
Yeah.
definitely run those numbers and get that together with Paul to see what you're actually going to have to come out of pocket and make sure that you have it, just in case the seller doesn't want to play ball with the seller concessions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. If you could load some of the like 400K houses.
She did already.
Okay.
I think I have the listing still.
I'll
We
send it.
currently have the 360 listing pulled up and we are going through some of them.
Okay, let me change it real
Oh.
quick. I'll change your criteria to 400, just so you can see everything that is available to
Yeah.
you. Let's see here.
Probably a lot more.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that
59 instead of just 12. 59 matches. Here we go, and I'm saving it, so it should be sent to you.
Yeah.
Now this is set to send you a new email every single time a new listing comes on the market. If it becomes too annoying or too frequent for you, please just let me know. Don't unsubscribe, because then I won't be able to send you more homes. So just shoot me a text message. We'll get that fixed for you.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay, so I think we've kind of gone over everything that you really want. What are your absolute must-haves in a home? Is there anything that like if you cannot live without?
So it has to have a garage. That's his
Okay.
rule. Has to have a garage. I don't think you're too dependent on like a size, are you?
I would like it to be a 2-car.
So he'd like a 2-car garage.
Well, there's mostly 2-car garages up there. I haven't really seen many 1-car garages, but they are out there. So
Yeah.
we'll make sure that happens for you.
A fenced-in yard, because we do have a dog. So it's just like we don't want to have to deal with moving into a house and trying to figure out a fence situation. So having a fenced-in yard, a minimum of 3 bedrooms, because we need like our room, the nursery, and like a guest room or / office situation. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like that's really it, honestly.
Okay. So if you guys do want to wait for to come into town in order to set up the showings, I do suggest that we pick them the night before, because things are just going so fast these days over here. I never expected 2023 to be this much of frenzy, but I think that everybody that just was pent up waiting to see what happened last year is just like they're all buying this year. So I do suggest looking at and picking the list about the night before, maximum 48 hours before. And you know, if you want me to coordinate with your friend so you can get in there sooner and we'll make the video, that would be awesome too. So when you do come into town, April 26th, let's just let's before you get there, we'll get you on the schedule to make sure that I can show you the properties.
So if we find a house that we like absolutely love and you go look at it and we are like set on it tomorrow, can we press with like, what's the next couple of steps for like getting the house? So we'd put an offer in through you, or do we through Paul?
No, that all goes through me, and then I work with Paul on the back end to make sure that the loan and financing is in place. So we would go see the property or do whatever procedures you prefer with your friend or the video. I would then talk to the listing agent. I ask them, do you have any other offers? I worked with a lot of listing agents in town, so quite frequently we'll find one that I have previously worked with the listing agent, and they like to take my offers because of the systems I have in place. So then we will make sure that I'm negotiating according to how many offers they have, what the seller wants, what the seller needs. Some sellers will need lease backs. That doesn't sound like that's in the cards for you guys. That means that the seller stays in the property after close of escrow because they need time to move out. So I will make sure to make a point that that is not something that you guys can accommodate. And we'll just go back and forth. We'll see where they're at, and then we'll formulate an offer together. We will be sending all of paperwork through my system called AuthentiSign. Super easy. You can sign on your phone even. So it's a very simple system. Any documents that you prefer to go over, we can go over those in detail. I can teach you all about the different contingencies. we have a couple different contingencies in each contract. So the first one is going to be the EMD deposit. So once the seller accepts your offer, you submit something called an EMD, and that's an earnest money deposit. It's usually 1% of the purchase price. Okay, so if you wire those funds, you may have to go, what bank do you have?
We have USAA, and then we have a British bank as well too.
Okay, so definitely coordinate all of that with Paul to make sure that they're coming from the right accounts, make sure they're sourced properly. You can't just take your mattress cash and then put it in the bank and send it over. Then you'll have to do all this paperwork telling Paul where you got your mattress cash from. So
We've also,
so that's
Paul's
due
been-
within 3 business days.
Paul, we have been doing what you're talking about though, like keeping more money in our account specifically for like that stuff.
Okay,
Like,
okay, good.
letting our credit card build up a little bit more while keeping more in our actual account.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'll submit. I was gonna submit like once March comes through, I'll submit like the March bank statements
Okay.
for the checking, because yeah, we've almost tripled what we had previously. So
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, and one,
It's amazing what not paying off your credit card and
yeah.
You start thinking about a house.
yeah,
all of a
you're
sudden,
like,
we
oh,
stop
is this
buying.
purchase really worth it? Or is like more the house? Okay, we're gonna decide.
Guys, I love it.
strategy.
Okay.
So that's the first contingency. That's the EMD. You have to submit that within 3 business days. Once we get everything under contract, I send you. I'm super OCD and organized, so I'll send you a list of all the contingencies and everything. The next contingency is going to be the due diligence date. So the due diligence, like I said, is going to be probably 10 days. This is where we make sure you absolutely love the house. This is the house you want. You can change your mind for any reason and get that EMD back. Okay, this is also when we perform the inspection. The inspection is going to be, I have a home inspector that I have been working with for so many years. I call him Bill Nye the Science Guy of inspection because he's so good and so detailed. He regularly scares my clients, but you will get a very thorough report about everything that's going on with the house. Now, then we submit something called a repairs request to the seller. They can respond with, yes, I'll fix that. I will give you a credit to fix it yourself, or no, I won't fix that. So those are their options there. And we negotiate all of that within the first 10 days. Now, once this 10 days is up, you can't back out for any reason. You have to back out for different reasons. The next reason you could back out is the appraisal. Now, the appraisal is something that is meant for the bank. But you pay $550 to $675, I believe is the kind of the price range.
Yes, 725 now.
Oh, inflation, sorry. This appraisal will tell us exactly how much the home is worth, so that the bank knows, like, hey, I'm lending you this money and I can actually use the home as collateral in the event that you default on your payments. So if this appraisal comes in lower than your offer price, I go back into negotiations with the seller and we come to an agreement. If you guys absolutely want the house no matter what, you may pay that difference. But I can tell you that unless it was pandemic era and we already discussed that and negotiated it before we went under contract, I have been able to 100% of the time get the seller to come down to the price. Because if they go back to market, they're just going to have to go through the same process again. So
yeah,
there's really no point in a seller kind of sticking their foot in the ground and saying no. So that appraisal contingency is anywhere from 15 to 18 days. I can tell you, Paul gets it done in the first 10. So we'll know right away.
yeah.
And if we can't come to an agreement on that, you will also get your EMD back in that contingency period. So the next period is the loan. The loan contingency is usually 24 to 26 days. Like I said, Paul gets all of this done in like 12 to 15. So when we can do it quicker, we do. And that, if you don't qualify for the loan anymore, let's say you went and bought a Rolls Royce before you got the garage, hey, you might not qualify for that loan anymore. So We will make sure that we get the loan done and your approval fully underwritten and everything within that 24 days. And then the next step would be signing the documents and going to closing table. So we can also do that from wherever you are. If you are in
I was about to say,
Colorado
do I
during-
need to be there to do that, or can we do that from here?
Yeah.
if
You
you are
can-
in Colorado during this closing period, we can send a mobile notary over there. Now, I'm not sure about overseas, Paul. Can we send?
We can, I've done it before. You have to go to an American consulate or the embassy because they have notaries.
Oh, that's in London, isn't it?
Let's say we have a notary on base. I
Oh,
don't know
do
if
you?
it-
Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, military too.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too big of a deal
Yeah.
if it needs to
Okay.
be notarized.
I mean, that would be quick if it got done before we left here, but because that's what, like 3 weeks?
I don't know. I'm ready.
3,
for
4
fall.
weeks.
I'm ready
It's
for fall to
possible.
buy me a
It's
house.
possible. I could have the keys waiting for you.
I know.
You know, ready to go.
We would have absolutely nothing to put in
I know,
the
it
house,
would be a
though.
completely empty house that we're just living in. Nothing.
Well,
But no, I
that's
think
where you
that'd
gotta
be,
start somewhere.
So our plan, I'll verify, but our plan should be that when we get back from Colorado, we're going into a house.
That's
what
kind of
I
our-
really want.
Our game plan is to be like getting the keys around May 15th. Like that's kind of when we want to be like in the door moving in.
All right,
So-
we will definitely work
Yeah.
together to make that happen.
As close as possible.
So we'll deep dive into the listing you just dropped.
Yeah.
And then Paul will message you if we need anything, kind
Yeah.
of figure out what our payments would look like.
Okay.
And then
sure.
I'm down for making this happen. So
Yeah.
All right.
Finally, he's motivated. Finally got him motivated.
it's just being overseas, there's just a lot going on with like moving and leaving and everything like
I'm
that.
sure,
So I
yeah.
compartmentalize all of my problems, and all the other problems have slowly just started fixing themselves. And now I'm to the point where like the house is the next problem. We'll give it a
Cool.
week.
Well, we'll make it happen for you. Do you guys have any other questions for us before we conclude this meeting?
I think I'm good. Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been super helpful. Like we are completely new to buying a house and this whole process, which
That's my
feels
favorite.
very odd
Always
being in
a
our
super
30s.
fun process.
Yeah. We are finally feeling like adults in our 30s, getting ready to buy our first house, having our first baby, finally in adulthood.
Finally having to be an
Yeah.
adult.
We're growing up. We're
Yeah,
growing up.
finally. Who knew it would be in our 30s?
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it's been super helpful.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Well,
Awesome.
like I said, we have an open line of communication via text, so just shoot me any messages that you have any questions at any time, okay?
Yep,
we
same
appreciate
When
it.
here.
you're
We're
looking
gonna-
through those listings, just shoot me the MLS number and I'll be able to give you more info on any of them. Like
Okay.
if you have more offers or anything, just shoot them over via text. Do you guys have iPhones?
No.
No.
Android.
Android.
Well,
Okay, I used to have the iPhone and I hated it, and he convinced me to get Android.
okay, well, we have
I have a
WhatsApp.
computer
So
degree. I like Android. Question though. So I saw like a couple of the houses said they were from foreclosure. So my understanding is a foreclosed house is the owner isn't able to pay on it. So the bank took it and now the bank is selling it on their behalf. Is there like, so I know there's always horror stories like when that happens to people and then they destroy the house on the way out. Is there anything like, is there protection for that? So if like we found a house that we really liked, it was under foreclosure, we go there and then like they destroyed the house. Like, is there?
So
that
there's
happen,
no
or-
protection for that because you're kind of walking into a home there. You can see that there's issues. Here's my issue with foreclosures. These people didn't have any money to pay their mortgage. So they also didn't have any money to upkeep the house, the AC, the HVAC, the plumbing, this, that, and the other. So they have years of problems that, might cost you way more in the long run. Not only that, they usually are also up for auction. Usually they like to see cash offers only. So we'll get there on an individualized basis. Don't use Zillow because all of those pre-foreclosures and everything, they're not really up for sale. Only use Zillow pulls all of their information from the MLS, and I gave you guys direct access to the MLS. So anything you see on Zillow, even if it's I've filtered it out, so only the only homes that you'll see accept VA financing. So you might see some
Okay.
homes in Zillow, but they're not taking VA financing. You'll be like, what about this one? I'll be like, well, it's because Zillow won't tell you that there's more information behind the scenes.
I'll say we haven't even looked at Zillow. We've only been looking at like the one home website stuff. So yeah. But yeah, I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, I'm way good.
We'll do a little deep dive through the new 400 listing and take a look and see if there's anything that is like we need it now and let you know.
Awesome. Let me know.
Okay.
The first house that was on here is just ridiculous.
Well, I do have showings up there at 4 p.m. today. So if it is a vacant home or if I can schedule it, I can actually just go make a video for you today or tonight.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll let you know. We'll take a look, and if there's one that piques our interest, we can give you a text in probably 10-15 minutes to be like, this house, this address. So.
Perfect.
All right.
Well, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you, Paul.
It was
And
so
Lauren.
nice
Thank
to
you
meet
guys.
guys.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your day.
All right, bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.